Very good evening to all the participants here from India, and good evening to all the distinguished speakers of today, Mr. Naveen Pathak, CEO Entry India, Entry USA, and Entry India, Mr. Sunil Sethi, Business Head 18 Bricks, Mr. Alan Barsano, Business Head 3PL Business. He'll be joining later. Um, At the outset, let me welcome all of you to this webinar on warehousing and order fulfillment, B2B and B2C for in US market. As all of you are aware, that US is our major market, top market, and it's growing. And it's world. In fact, if you look at the world trade, it's the world's largest market, and their world is looking at US to do business. So in this context, this program is being organized. Now, this program is focusing on how Indian exporters can aim to utilize US-based warehouses and optimize your order fulfillment. We have very expert and experienced speakers today who will be take you through the complete process, including uploading, storages, labeling, dispatch, pick, pack, ship services, and how you can ensure the very efficient and cost effective operation in the US market, which is very critical for Indian exporters. The demand for warehousing, if you look at the last few years, it is increased substantially. And there is a significant surge in the present global trade scenario. The exponential growth in e-commerce and rapid delivery expectations have propelled the need for efficient and reliable warehousing solutions. The scalability and strategically located warehouse facilities equipped with advanced technologies for maintaining competitive edge in today's fast-paced trade landscape is need of the hour, and we'll be talking exactly on that subject. International trade is going through the challenges of considerable risks, including geopolitical tension, cybersecurity threats, environmental regulations, etc. Hence, the trade need to adopt various mitigation strategies. Other geopolitical factors, particularly US-China relations, may continue to play a crucial role in shaping global supply chain dynamics. We have seen disruptions in supply chains due to war and is expected to continue through years, with challenges including storages, shortage of products, shipping delays, and port congestion, etc. The ongoing conflicts and political instability in the regions like Middle East and Eastern Europe already disturbed trade routes and supply chains and affecting flow of goods as well as raw materials. Along with this, the pressure to reduce carbon footprints and adhere to environmental regulations, driving the trade to adopt more sustainable supply chain practices. We have seen extreme weather events and climate-related disturbance, which is increasingly shown in the recent past, that also affecting supply chains and require company to enhance their resilience and disaster preparedness strategies. Exporters who are specifically focusing on US market now need to focus on reshoring, nearshoring of their produce to reach the product just in time with predictability, failing which buyers already started, reduce reliance on distant suppliers to mitigate the risk associated with global supply chain disruptions. Hence, there is a need to adopt new strategies. More importantly, warehousing and distribution facilities within the market with promises, short-time deliveries, reliability, and predictability. Today's situation has come if you need to grow in the US market, especially kind of market like US, where you have competition across the globe. You need to have to deliver your products within a couple of days, if not the same day. Where the shipping times for Indian ports to US ports, you have seen that is increasing, and freight cost also shooting up like anything. So it is continuously increasing your time as well as time to reach the market as well as freight cost. So in this context, what need to be done? What is the strategy as an Indian exporters to adopt to reach and expand your market? This program is precisely focusing on that. It will be discussing on warehousing opportunities for both the B2B and B2C, which help your customers to be confident on you and help in expanding your business to US. With this introduction, now I request Mr. Navin Pathak, CEO of Entry India, for chairing this session. Mr. Navin is responsible for overseeing mission to facilitate seamless business establishments and expansion for Indian companies in the US. He has successfully managed and executed high impact US and India market expansion projects and many business and helped many of the business enterprises. In fact, hundreds of projects he had executed recently and helped many exporters to expand their business in the US market. He has a wide experience in and thorough knowledge on US market. With this brief introduction, I now request Mr. Navinji to take over, and I also request Mr. Navinji to introduce the speakers, Mr. Sunil Sethi as well as Alan Bresano, when before inviting them to speak. Over to you, sir. It's now your floor. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to be connected with all the participants today. My name is Navin Pathak. I am based out of New Jersey with my team here. You will be soon listening to Mr. Sunil Sethi and Mr. Alan Bresano. In very short, yes, what Mr. Unikrishnan has given you a very wonderful overview of what the market scenario is. And of course, US being the biggest buyer on this planet and the largest trading partner of India, it plays a very critical role as we move forward, you like it or not, but US or India's relationship is going to expand even further. Next 10 years of India will see the maximum number of millionaires in the world. I know there is a lot of disparity, but even then India is going to grow, and that is of best interest to us. And this is a very right time. In last couple of years, a substantial increase, a very significant increase in Indian companies expanding their business in the US market. Now, expanding your business in the US market has many connotations. One part is, of course, everybody wants to sell. Everybody is looking for a buyer. But what is your strategy? What is your, do you want to reach an objective or a goal of creating a brand, selling, or finding a buyer, and then fulfilling their needs? Of course. But the strategy adopted becomes of critical essence. Reason is, after COVID, a lot of changes has happened. As Mr. Unikrishnan just said that, very simple one is, during the COVID time, when logistics were halted in a way that products were not getting offboarded of the ships, the shelves were empty. The thing was that every buyer, the retail buyer, large retail buyers, any one of those, whether it's a TJ Maxx or called food, any food companies or whosoever you call them, Target, Walmart. So it were taking so long for them to get their products in the store because the logistics were halted, as I said. The people writing checks for millions and billions of dollars, now they were ordering eggs and bread from their home. Imagine, then we were rationed time here to go to a store. Now moving that experience has embedded into a thought process that I cannot wait anymore for 60 days for a product to arrive here in the US market and then put it on the shelf. I want it now, I want it today. What I've tried to do here in this last two sentences is I've tried to compress all the experiences into one line, that you have to be here in the US for business expansion. Now, when you have to be here, again, further has many connotations, but one part I mean, companies set up, you call it, or people have a strategy of setting up a company and creating a brand. People have a strategy of coming here on special visa categories that we talked about in our last webinar with FIO, like L1A. And here we are focusing on warehousing. I tell you, I might have helped, opened over 150 companies, not less, last year alone. And this year, I've already reached 125 plus companies. It is increasing. 5.2 million companies were formed in the US in 2022. And these are companies coming from abroad. Imagine the horde, imagine the kind of rush hour highway is what's happening here in the US. I want to focus on warehousing here. So warehousing has become a very critical component of business expansion strategy because you want to win the trust. I am ordering an order, and if that order is getting fulfilled from within a facility in the US, you win my trust. Now it's all about trust. Mr. Unnikrishnan just mentioned offshore or onshore. You come to Canada, you come to Mexico, you come to US. That's what the mindset of the buyers is there now. Earlier, you order from China or from India or something is coming, but now the core part is becoming that I want to trust someone, I want them to be here. Now that that opened up this opportunity, this door for us to talk to you, and that was the part of our discussion with Mr. Unnikrishnan, that we have to first make you aware of what it is like of having a warehouse. And this session essentially made for you in such a way that you understand the depths of what it takes to put your products in the warehouse. Now, my experience in warehousing in US is nil, nothing. But my experience in listening to the companies from India looking into expansion in the business in the US market through warehousing as part of their strategy is phenomenal. Company comes to me and they say, Naveen, we want a warehouse. So we want a storage, but then who will, sign us up with, let's say, USPS? Who will fulfill our orders? Who will pick, pack, and ship for us? But now, from that, it was very clear to me that we have to have a session, give us some sort of awareness to get started, to seed that, beach in your thought process, that what warehousing is about and what it takes to get it done. So, we put together my team of experts who run warehouses. I look at 24,000 foot view, but the experts here with me, they are on ground zero. They're the 0 feet. They are the people who make things happen. So for this, I'm bringing a very senior leader of my team, Mr. Sunil Sethi. And, just a small background, if I try to read his whole resume for all his experience, it will take an hour or so. But it's very result-oriented, professional with a very strong background in commodity trading and supply chain management. Heavily proven track record in optimizing operations, mitigating risk, and maximizing profitability in the dynamic market environments. So in building strategic partnerships, analyzing market trends, and implementing effective supply chain strategies. So the goal is that he delivers. And now you are in great hands with, I don't want to spend more time me talking about it. I'm always available. Entry USA is the name of our firm. Its simple thing is connecting businesses with opportunities. Entryopen.com is our site. We'll talk about it at the end of the webinar. I'll just give you a little more background and then we'll get started from here. But right now, I want to invite my great friend, my great partner, Mr. Sunil Sethi on the floor here. Sunil sir, the floor is all yours. Please carry on. And to everyone, this time is yours. Sunil sir, with the facility as large as 60, 70, 80,000 square foot managing, it's not easy to catch hold of him. So today is your time. Today is your chance. Ask any question. No 2 plus 2 is a small question, and no algebraic question is so hard that we cannot solve it. You have Sunilji is with you, and you can ask anything under the sun with respect to warehousing and order fulfillment in the US. And then I know that you will be more than satisfied once this webinar ends. Sunilji, please get started.
Thank you very much for good introduction, Naveen. So When it comes to warehousing or selling the product, a lot of it, Naveenji already covered it, but my 2 cents to it is very important is that to know who's your target customer. So you start with that, it's going to be a business, it's going to be a consumer, it's going to be who. Once you know it's going to be either both or one of them, now you start looking at the packaging of your product, which is very critical. I see boxes coming in, they tear apart. Forget about consumer. They come to me and they are like all over. Second most important thing is that when you are shipping, especially in the monsoon time, you got to make sure the packages don't get wet because the packaging material in America is very expensive, labor is very expensive. So I generally advise if you are a consumer product, put some extra packaging in your containers. If we have to replace it, we replace it. Next thing is when you send the goods here, if your target audience is going to take 1 year, 2 years to sell your container, do not send the whole container. Do LTL, do air, do whatever. Do not. I'm a warehousing guy. I love to take your money, but I never advise anyone to send something which you cannot sell. It's stuck here for 1 year and then you're looking for a buyer for a loss. So those are the very important things. Right now, if you are aware, if you're shipping through airlines, airlines actually did the mandate yesterday. They will not accept a single carton unless it's completely shrink wrapped because the monsoon is here. They don't want to see the claims coming to them. Next thing is when you bring the stuff here, you got to know your HSN code very well. If I am correct, India uses 8 digits and America uses 10 digits. So it further downs to 2 more digits to actually tell you the exact duty amount, what you should be paying. If you don't put those 2 digits, then the product gonna go to the broad category, and the broad category custom duty you will be paying over there. And next thing is when you do have a clearing agent, open a company in America, and then Naveenji can actually help you opening that. You have your own bank account. Pay custom duties from your own bank account. Do not transfer money to clearing guy. He pays to the custom. Ultimately, if you don't pay the duty to the custom, it's not the custom or freight forwarder, it's you. You have to pay the duty regardless he pays or not. So it's always a good idea that you tell the agent, here is my bank info, and inform the custom to draw the money, custom duty straight from the account, not through the broker. I have seen cases companies have paid to the brokers and they have not paid to the customs, and ultimately customs comes after you to collect the amount you owed, by the way. Last thing is when you are actually packaging your product, very important, the pallet size in America is 48 by 40. So try to do it, the product in a way that it comes in that pallet. Otherwise, the shipping cost goes high. Overhanging pallets, if you are shipping FedEx or UPS, they will charge you extra. So these companies, they look for making extra money. If it is a residence delivery, they charge extra. It's overhanging, they charge extra. Holiday time, they charge extra. So considering all that, I mean, like I can actually open the floor. These are generic things I tell everyone. Making a good product is as important, but packaging also is very critical and very important. Because if the product reaches to the consumer in a good shape, they will have a good review, basically. It's your product, handle it. So that's all I have to say, unless somebody has a question.
Yes, so anyone, now getting started with whatever Sunilji has said, please write your questions in the chat box that we'll be happy to take. And if you raise hands, I don't see any questions so far, but if you raise hands right now, we can address it audio based right away. You can speak and let's make it hot. Any questions with respect to fulfillment, with respect to pricing, with respect to, SKUs, with respect to whatever, shipping, with respect to signing up with USPS, anything you can ask, please. Okay. Sunilji, so I think I have to ask you questions to get people heated up. Okay. So you touched upon the packaging side of it. How about you touch upon something with respect to pricing? How do we price the cost side of it, the expenses side of it? I mean, if I have to put my product, how should I look at? For example, let me make it very simple for everyone. Do I have to bring in one container? Can I bring in some LTL or 4-5 pallets? How the cost would matter, or how what are the parameters that get into the costing of my monthly charges? How will they be calculated? If you can give some insight into it.
Okay, there are a couple of ways companies do that. So I cannot name a particular customer. So what they do is there are 3 or 4 companies get together. So somebody has 4 pallets, somebody has 3 pallets, floor loaded. So they will bring the container here with us with multiple companies' cargo inside. The shipping through the container is the cheapest form we can assume. And if it is a full container, then comes the LTL. LTL is a little more expensive than full container, but still not an overkill compared to airline. Airline mode is the most expensive. Actually, courier will be the most expensive, then your airline cargo, then LTL, and then full container. That's how it goes, basically. So if in this platform, through the export organization, if the couple of companies can get together and put their cargo in one container, maybe it's 20 feet, maybe it's 40 feet, that will save them a lot of money.
Wonderful. So I hope that addresses your question. Now here, Sunilji Preeti is asking, what is the cost for maintaining the stocks there without forming a company?
So basically, companies either charge by CBM, like the airline do, but most of them, they don't. As I said, the pallet is 48 by 40. So typically the monthly cost is per week is about $5 in New Jersey. But yes, there are places like North Carolina, South Carolina, where the cost is cheap because the land is cheap. So cost is old, and California is actually more expensive compared to New Jersey also. So where you host your product, the cost comes from there. So it's kind of a very difficult to answer. More remote area, cheaper cost. If you are closer to the port, it is actually more and more expensive.
Wonderful. Now, Murugoppam is asking, should we have an office or should we have office in USA if we need to register a company in USA? Murugam, we'll talk about this later on since this is not the topic, but just to answer, no, you don't need an office to open up a company. But, my team will connect with you. Manvi will share the link and then you can fill it up and I'll guide you in that. Piyush is asking, what are the warehouse charges?
No, what is what is it?
What are the warehouse charges?
So warehouse charges you consider like anything warehouse touches their hand, it's a cost to you. For example, I said, make your packaging wonderful. If you don't, we have to reopen your box. We got to repackage the whole thing. Those are all the cost. But typically on B2B, the pallet comes out, pallet goes out. It's a standard cost. We can actually talk about once we know your product, once we know your dimension, once we know your weight of the pallet, we can talk about that. It all depends on that. It's not a straight answer what I'm trying to say.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, it depends on multiple factors. Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay. And
Manjunatha, are we sending cargo to Amazon FBA for sales? Can you please explain about costing compared to Amazon? I don't know how much Amazon charges, but what companies do, they will bring the full container to us, and because they are doing it that way, so I'm assuming Amazon cost is very high. So they will send couple of pallets to one location, couple of pallets to a different location, depending on entire nation if you want to cover it. But they will hold the inventory at the warehouse, but they will send it to Amazon as and when you deplete the inventory on the other side. And costing wise, it will all depend which location of Amazon it's going to go. Over the road, we have arrangement with the companies, they take LTL. Booking of the appointment, we do that for other customers too. To answer your question, Amazon FBA will be more expensive than the warehouse. So you store majority of your product in the warehouse and send to Amazon as you are selling it over there.
Wonderful, sir. That very nicely
You
answered.
find a
Okay.
10-digit HSN. There is a website. There is a website. I'll find it out, and I will actually share it with Naveenji so he can share it with everyone.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So Abhishek is asking how to find genuine buyer. Please guide. Abhishek, this is out of the purview of this webinar. You'll hear from my team, and then we'll answer your question. You fill up a form there, and then we'll answer your question. Elan is asking, hi, thanks for the introduction. For the consumer products, is the warehouse available on cubic feet per pay as you use basis?
See, warehouse, you gotta consider it just as space. Space doesn't do anything unless we make the space use for it and the services we use for it. So no warehouse gonna allow your workers to come in the warehouse to work on it. So as far as the cost is concerned, cost is a cost. So I mean, like, you want to pay through cubic feet or you want to pay as per use, it's entirely up to you.
Wonderful. Okay. Reva Shankar Shubham is asking, kindly put some light on B2C model. For B2C model, we'll bring on Alan also on the call. Let's take a few questions. And if Alan, are you there?
I'm here. Good to see you, Naveen.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so let's do one thing, Sunilji. Let's bring Alan. I did not know Alan was here already. So let's focus for a little
Sorry,
bit.
one hand is there, Mr. Ayush. If you can allow him before
Okay, sure.
invite.
Ayushji, please ask your question. Hello?
Oh,
Ayush?
he's asking where do we find 10-digit HSN?
Yes.
There is a government website. I already answered that. Or somebody else
Yes.
that's
Okay.
Sir,
trademap.com.
I do happen to have another question, and that is to understand one fundamental thing. Is this webinar regarding a shared warehouse, or if we want to open our own full-fledged warehouse just for our products? Which of the two situations are we addressing here?
Both.
All right. So my question was more towards the second part, which is to own our own warehouse. How can I get to know more about in detail? I'm sure this webinar cannot explain all of the details. So who may I connect with to understand more in detail about this?
I will answer your question in 3 steps here. It's
All right.
like you first of all, you need to know exactly how much space you need. Okay. The
Okay.
warehousing, I'll address it in a very different. So in New Jersey, near to the port, the location, the warehouses are a little older. When you go a little further down from the port, the new warehousing is coming. So I don't know if you know the geography of New Jersey, but I would say there is a road called Turnpike here where all the trucks go. So if you are very close by to the Turnpike, your charge is going to slow down. But if you go in a location where truckers don't want to go, your charges will be higher. So location of the warehouse is very important. Even that goes for your FedEx and UPS too. Once you know the size of it, and I don't know the product, what you deal with, number of docks also becomes very important. Drive-in becomes very important because sometimes you want to load the cargo through the drive-in, not through the dock because of the height, because of other things. Once you have all that figured out, now it's as if like you are buying real estate in India too. When you go, you need to have money. If you want to rent it, they want to see your credit check. Once your credit check approves, your business model approves, the landlord will approve you, because institutions who generally are the owners of these warehouses in America, they will check all of that. And because they want you to succeed, they want to collect the rent and they want to check everything. Once all that goes through, so it's a typical process of 4 to 5 months. Then it goes to legal. Once your legal accepts, their legal accepts. So within about 4 to 5 months, you get your hands on the warehouse.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, Sunilji, let's halt our, question QA session right now. Alan is here. So let me bring Alan for everyone. Alan, I don't see you. Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay. Wonderful, everyone. So, just for the fun part of it, just to make it little interesting, I call Mr. Sunil Sethi just for fun, Amitabh Bachchan of this industry, and I call Alan Barsano as a Shah Rukh Khan of this industry. Means highly energetic, very smart, just like Sunilji, and always on his toes to get the work done. Alan's technically mission is to help entrepreneurs compete with the largest e-commerce companies out there. His guiding principle is to assist these small and medium-sized businesses scale their operations without breaking the
Which one is
bank
it?
and without stretching. I mean, this is how he takes upon a project on with a company that wants to get into the B2C model of
Perfect.
warehousing in the US. He has implemented, he will show it to you, a beautiful technology, the most technologically advanced process to enable these companies, your companies, the companies that product companies, manufacturers, to focus on growing their business, but taking upon the challenge of fulfillment, order warehousing and order fulfillment here in the city of Edison. Now, in both the cases, let me bring to your attention, New Jersey, Port Authority of New York, New Jersey. New Jersey is the most strategic state across the US, hands down. Nothing comes close to New Jersey, especially for India. Why do I say that? It has the airport with direct flights from India. It has the port with New York, New Jersey Port, Elizabeth Port is right across the highway. One side of the highway is the port, one side of the highway is the airport, and they're centrally located. Maybe 30 minutes drive from New York City if there is no rush hour. And both our warehouses in Edison and Monroe are within the range of 30 minutes and 45 minutes. So you are too close, very close. And at the same time, New Jersey, if you drive 2 hours from New Jersey, from this central location where we are, 2 hours, there are 46 million people lives here. $3 trillion economy is the economy which is in 2 hours driving distance from New Jersey, from our warehouses. So you are in a very strategic location. Well, you all would have heard of, if not, you will soon. If you are anybody in the food business, you will definitely. The food market, the Indian market on Oak Tree Road is very, very extremely close to us. I mean, in Edison and with Monroe, very close. All right. Now, with that said, I bring Alan Barsano to all of you, and you will love to hear from him. Alan, the floor is yours, my man. Get started.
Okay, great. Well, Naveen, thank you for the exceptional presentation and the introduction. Sunil, thank you very much for everything you've said so far. Really great. And so just to touch on a few of the things that, both Naveen and Sunil have said, you have to choose your target when you're coming to the US. You have to choose your target market. Everyone wants to sell everything to the world, but in truth, you really have to know who your customer is. If you don't know who your customer is, then you just can't be in business. So obviously, coming from your home country, you have your product that you know you want to market. So you already know your product. Now you need to know who your target market is. Are you selling to an end user? Are you selling to business? Is your product being sold in the retail environment? Is it being sold online? These are the questions that you have to address. And if your product is going to be sold as a packaged retail type product, are you selling it in a retail environment, meaning local stores, or are you going to be selling it online via Amazon, eBay, various different other places like Wayfair, and there's many marketplaces for you to sell, right? And some third-party marketing channels are stronger than others, depending on the product that you're selling. So you might be selling linens that might sell it maybe on Wayfair, on Overstock, on Amazon. It may have certain places that you market. Then you have electronics. Well, that may sell on Woot, and that may sell on Newegg and various different other platforms. So you really have to know the platforms that you're going to be selling for if you're going to be selling as an e-commerce merchant. My specialty is specifically e-commerce fulfillment. It's something that we've developed over the course of the years. Originally, I had my own online company selling my own allergy-related products. At one point, we had maybe over 3,000 SKUs, so it started to become difficult to manage. So we needed to build a better mousetrap for fulfillment. While we were building that mousetrap for fulfillment, we said, okay, what's the best way to accommodate our business? But seemingly, it seems that there's a need for many other businesses. And so hence, that's when we decided to get into the 3PL business, but specifically for e-commerce. And, seeing the pitfalls of how the vast majority of, warehouses fulfill e-commerce orders, we said we have to build a better mousetrap. So to that, we have an unbelievable way to pick, pack, store your products, and ship your products. Touching on one of the things that Sunil said before is packaging. In the States, the consumer is working on a value proposition. They want to know, what is the value that you're bringing me as a product? Is your product valuable to me? That's a very important thing, because Americans don't look for something that's necessarily cheap. They're looking for something that gives them the full package of what they're looking for. And then when I say the word package, I also mean packaging of the product. So the packaging of the product, that creates value. You could have a product that sells for $29, and the same product, but in better packaging, could sell for $39. And really, it's just a few pennies or quarters worth of a difference in your actual physical cost of the merchandise, but the presentation to the consumer shows value. That being said, if anyone has questions for me, or if you want to see what we do in action, I can surely do that for you. Naveen, you're on mute, I believe.
Yes, Alan. Seeing in action how the B2C business works will be of the great interest to everyone. Now, give them a feeler of what it is like to be in e-commerce fulfillment for B2C business.
Sure. So I'm actually at my desk right now, so I'm going to switch over.
Alan can't hear you. Alan, we cannot hear you. Alan, there is no sound. Can you hear me? No, can't hear. I can see your lips moving. No. No sound.
You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so there seems to be a problem. I was trying to switch over to my handset to be able to show you the warehouse, but as soon as I tried to go to that Zoom call, it didn't give me audio on that other login that I was trying to sign in on the Zoom call. But that being said, if anyone's, coming in or wants me to do a demo for them, I could do it offline, I guess, on another time. It just seems for some reason that during the call, it's not actually letting me get on the video.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, can you join from your phone?
I
And then-
can. So you'll have to let me you'll have to let me unmute me when I join in from my phone. So I'm gonna sign
Okay.
off from here, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, hold on.
It is a great idea for everyone just to see in action how the technology works. And in the e-commerce side, I mean, whenever fulfillment happens, what it takes. So have a look at it. I mean, this is a phenomenal technology Alan has put into it. Not only to pick up those orders, pack them, but also during the shipping time. And if you have shipped something wrong, something is going to come back. But he has put up a technology that allows him to figure out if there is a mistake in the packaging of the product, and he captures those mistakes and they're repackaged again. This reduces the cost. No returns then, and you are not overspending. Let's say somebody ordered one linen sheet and you're sending, or somebody sending them two. So that's how this technology plays a beautiful role. So Alan, yes. I know we can't hear you, but I will explain. You just maybe if you can put a stoplight for everyone. Yes. Everyone
Okay.
can see.
See me now?
Okay. Yes. Oh, wonderful. This works.
Okay. Great. Okay. God bless America. Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Very good.
Okay. So what you're seeing over here right now is us picking orders. All of our shelving units are actually rotating on wheels. So you're actually seeing our shelves rotate. So the merchandise is held captive in these units. Every product that's picked is scanned, okay, and then put into a tote. As you can see, everything's automated, everything's paperless. When she's picking her orders, she's picking paperless. She's not picking with any paper. She's not walking down any aisles. She's very focused to one area. I'm going to try to switch orientation. Does this show correct if I switch orientation?
Yep. This is
Okay,
better.
great.
This is better.
This is better. Beautiful. So what you're watching over here is 3 different shelving units that go very far. Just to give you an example of how far they go down the warehouse. Okay, so there's a lot of merchandise being held in here. Maybe there's I want to say 2,000 to 4,000 SKUs at any one point in time being held captive in these totes. Now, you see she's picking various different products for various different clients from within the warehouse. At one moment, she's picking apparel, then she's picking what seemingly is gloves, then she's picking what's toys. She's picking of various different products throughout the whole different process. You can see over here, this is after we pick an order, we confirm the pick afterwards. So our packing lists are not handwritten or anything on it. Everything is automatic as soon as it happens. So if there was a back order, for instance, it would show up on the packing slip and it would be printed out professionally every single time. Every time she scans a product, the label prints out. Notice that the shelves are automatically rotating. She's not actually telling the shelves where to go to. The shelves are automatically rotating. This was a software design that I was part of the software design team for this. And so as soon as she picks the order, she's actually at the end of her batch. She's going to pick that order, scan it, and you're going to see that turn again, right? As soon as she scans, that shelving unit is turning again, bringing her forward her next pick. So she's not stopping. As you can see, these units are very tall, and she's picking from her next one. I'm going to quickly show you the next unit that we have, which is a new unit. Okay, this was installed about 1.5 years ago, where this is our new shelving unit over here. There's an automated picking system. Same concept as you see on the left. Same concept as you see on the left video, you can see over here on the right, okay? Except that this is a little bit taller, a little fancier, a little nicer. Again, I was part of the same software process that developed these units. So the hardware can be bought, can be found anywhere one looks. However, the software is more like the brains. So this is the muscles, this is the heart that you're looking at, but behind it is the brains, which sits behind these computer systems. And as you can see over here, she's starting to pick from her batch of orders on this side. You'll see these shelves rotating. They're looking for where her next set of merchandise is to be called for. As you can see on this video where she's picking, there's only one unit that's rotating, because this means that she's at the end of her picking batch. She's maybe picked, 150 orders in this batch. And so the last few orders are being picked. She's actually just starting a batch over here. Okay. So as soon as she has something to pick, the system will present her on her screen, and then she would pick it. What's cool about this station is actually she has a lift station that will actually literally pick her up and down to get her up to these shelves, which are really like 14 feet in height. I know it may not seem it from the video, but they're massive units over here. And so as orders are picked, that was the picking part of the process. As an order is picked, it goes down the rollers, okay, to the next station, which is basically the pack station. When the products came in originally, we took measurements of the products. Every product that walks in the door, we take measurements of it. So we have the length, width, height of any new product that walks in the door. And you might wonder, why do we take the length, width, height of every product? So we take it because we want to see what the dimensions are. So when we ship in the proper item, in the proper box. So over here, what you see in front of you, this is a Cubiscan machine. This machine will actually take length, width, height dimensions of any one single product. We put it here when we first receive it. And as soon as it puts all the dimensions of the product, it automatically goes into our system. So the next step of the process is we know what dimensions the product are. We also know that we have 70 different carton sizes within our facility. So we know exactly what size box or bag a product belongs in. So over here, I don't know if you could see it, but it shows carton type. So because we knew the dimensions of the product when we picked it, we also know the dimensions of the product of the box that they belong to go into. So over here, we're packing the product, and every product has a different need, right? Some products are fragile, so they need to be bubble wrapped, such as what's being done right now. Some products are not fragile, so they would just go straight into boxes or bags, depending on the product. We also do custom boxing. So if a client needs, has custom packaging, as you can see, this is a very custom package, right? Very custom package over here. So if someone has custom packaging, we can accommodate that as well. Or if they have a custom packing process. Over here is the shipping process, okay? Now we have another very cool feature that I'm gonna show you now over here. Okay, so after a product is shipped, you can see over here, there's an overhead bin that's providing them the bubbles, the dunnage, whatever needs to be to close the package up, okay? Automated shipping, closing of the box is done by an automated tape sealer. It's not done by hand, because if I was to use a tape machine like this, you could see that the packaging would not look perfect. So our goal is for the customer to get a package that looks perfect. I mentioned to you before when we were picking the order that someone was scanning the barcode of the product. We scan the barcodes of the product to ensure accuracy, so we won't make mistakes. Now, I'm going to show you something over here. Give me something a little bit. No good? Okay, good. So I want to show you something. Start over again. Start it from the top. So he's going to attempt to ship a pack.
Alan, video. Alan, the video stopped.
Okay, you see me now?
Yep.
Okay, great. So what I'm doing over here is I want to show you another step of our process that we do to ensure that we are picking and shipping accurately. We know the dimensions and the weight of every product that walks in the door, as I showed you that machine before, okay? We also know the box that it's supposed to go into. So, for instance, this product, as you can see, relatively small, lightweight product, right? This maybe weighs, I don't know, let's just say 0.2 of a pound, maybe 3-4 ounces total. If this was coming onto the scale and it comes out as a half a pound, well, that would not comport with what we expect the actual weight to be. So here's an example of two separate shipments that are sitting on the conveyor over here. He's going to attempt to ship it. Okay, what he does is he scans the package. If his scan is correct and he presses enter, it should produce for him a label. Try to ship it? Yeah, I want to show. Okay. He's actually going to try to show the package. He scans it. When he presses enter, he's supposed to get a shipping label, but he won't get a shipping label in this case because the weight does not match what we expect it to be. So now I'm going to do another example. I took the other box off. He has the one package he's supposed to ship. He presses scan, he presses enter, and he gets a shipping label. This is to show you a secondary process that we have for verification of picking. We're verifying that we picked the right product and we picked the right amount of the product. So if someone ordered 3 units and we only put 2 units in the box, well, that wouldn't make sense, right? So this is a secondary process for us to see how orders are accurately picked, packed, and then ultimately shipped out the door. Through the process over here, we have USPS, this is domestic, this is international, right? We have UPS, FedEx, and the post office that come daily. They get their packages sorted by carrier, okay, and we get multiple pickups a day from all 3 of those carriers I just mentioned. What you see over here in the background, okay, this is the bulk storage of the facility. So, of course, we want to pick out orders from these units like I just showed you, okay? However, we do need to have backup stock for our clients because not everything can fit in with these are small bins, let's just say. So a lot of the products may have to go into, racking that we have within the warehouse. So there's the process. Orders are picked. As you can see, it's a very streamlined product. Orders are picked, down to the conveyor, move forward, go to the pack station, move forward, go to the ship station, and out they go. Over there, what you're seeing in the foreground over there, oops, my video just went there, sorry. You see me still?
Yep.
Okay, great. So what you see in the background is some value add work that we do. So some of our clients need additional work done to their products. Not everything sometimes is done overseas. Some stuff may need to be done locally. Well, we have the people, we have the staff to get it done. And that's in a nutshell the process. Again, you have the storage of product, you have the picking of the product that happens from these automated picking modules, you have the packing that happens automated, and then you have the shipping that's automated with verification of weight and everything that's included. Notice, by the way, when he does ship, he doesn't actually type any information. He just scans a document, he presses enter, and that's it. Shipping label gets produced for him. He does nothing to determine the shipping speed. He does nothing to determine the carrier. All that information, that was done prior by our automated systems, our automated software processing that determined the carrier, rate selection to select the carrier. It determines how it's going to ship and the speed it's going to ship. If there was an error, by the way, with any of the picking processes, this blue conveyor over here, that's called the rejection line. That's where we handle any orders that just seem out of whack, that don't make sense. So at that point, a manager of the warehouse will actually check these orders and see what was wrong with it. Could have been that the wrong quantity was picked. Could it be that we had the wrong dimension for an item, right? So that's how orders are checked. So we pick with a scanning the product, or if we don't have a product from the client, we can produce barcodes. We pack, customized packing based on their requirements. Their requirements may be that they need bubble wrap. It may be that they need paper, right? So whatever it is that their processes require, and then the shipping is done right over here. And in a nutshell, you've seen it. You've seen how the process works, and you see how we do it.
Beautiful, Alan. Beautiful. Lovely. Lovely. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
this takes everybody's, yes. As many times I've seen it, I just love it every time. Well,
Yeah, it's gorgeous to watch.
yes, Alan, you are the brain behind. Everyone, this is designed, it's programmed by Alan himself. So he's the man behind, what it takes to run this facility also, and the process. So this is lovely, Alan. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure everyone would have loved it as the way I do. And this, everyone, you saw that from the order size coming in, the labeling side of it, and the picking, packing, and shipping. So everything covered beautifully using technology, and this is for B2C case. Now, based on that, of course, there will be many questions coming to your mind. Alan, one quick thing, and Sunil sir, this is also for you, both of you. So, a lot of times, I mean, I get these requests that I want you to answer. Well, I'm going to send this is the users, this is the client saying that I'm going to send my products there. I will be using a warehouse facility. Technically, you're going to store my products. Then who will come pick, pack, and ship? So everybody saw pick, pack, and packaging and labeling and everything. Now, when it comes to shipping side of it, that means FedEx, DHL, or UPS or USPS, who is going to come and pick them up? Who decides that, who should come, whether it should DHL, whether it should FedEx, or who should come and pick my stuff? And then how would I get to know what would be my cost of shipping across US? Now, if you two can address that, that would be a very good help.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's so easy for me to say, don't worry, we got it covered, because I've done it for so many years at this point. But the truth is, if someone is not accustomed to our local market, and even if they are accustomed to the local US market, there are so many moving parts to that process. We've already gotten it to a science, right? Everything that you saw in that video, everything's choreographed on a daily basis, the same exact way you saw me just walking onto the warehouse floor on a random day, no preparation, just on a regular day. That's how it goes every single day. But in truth, there was a lot of parts to the process. Just the carrier selection alone, our system, as an example, will go to UPS, Federal Express, and USPS. It'll look for the best rate amongst the three for your specific package. So if I'm shipping a cup of coffee and it weighs 1 pound, okay, our system will look and say, okay, where's it going to in the United States? Should this package go with UPS, FedEx, or the post office? So our system will say, oh, post office is $5.50, UPS is $8, FedEx is $7, and so it'll pick the USPS. Our system does that automatically. As far as when a package now finally is selected to ship, we have to produce a label that's compliant with those carriers. Each one of those carriers has their own labeling requirements on the outside package. The UPS label does not look like the Federal Express label, and neither like the Post Office label. So we're constantly having our software tweaked to stay with the current guidelines for each one of those carriers, because they do change pretty much every year. Their labeling requirements are changing. Being that we ship so many packages with all these different carriers, they come to our facility every day and they pick up their packages on a very consistent basis. So those are all processes that we've refined, but it took me, just on my own, took me years to get that fine-tuned end-to-end process, and we're constantly tweaking it. So what you saw in that video is years of work, but it's never ending. We're always looking for the next way, how to do it a little bit better, how to do it a little bit faster, how to protect the packages a little bit more. So we have 70 different cartons within our warehouse. We have a miniature warehouse of just cartons and bags, which are basically the packaging supplies to get your product to the customer's door. So there are many pieces to the puzzle. I can tell you as far as it relates to e-commerce, it's a little more complex than, B2B because there's so many more moving parts. That being said, we've already figured it out and we have it all ready for you, really.
Well, thank you very much. Sunilji, in your case for B2B orders, how when it has to be shipped, which carrier to use, how that selection is made?
So basically, Alan actually already addressed it. It all depends where it's going. That's very important. And all these carriers, typically price-wise, they're all the same. They're not like too much apart from each other. We use about 28 carriers for LTL. From New Jersey to California, that's our own lane in trucking. We do trucking is part of our business too. So when it comes to New Jersey to California, we use our own trucking. But for LTL, as I said, we have 28 carriers, whoever actually. So there is another part comes into play in B2B. A lot of warehouses actually take the delivery on appointment. They give you an appointment, they give you a time. So if you miss that, they will not accept the cargo. So something we call it a guaranteed delivery, which we tag it to the trucker, and they charge typically half the freight cost, but it will be guaranteed delivered at that time. But it's exactly the same format for B2C or B2B, where exactly it's going.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sounds very good. All right. Okay. So thank you, Alan, and thank you, Sunilji. So let's get back to the questions real quick as we are 1 hour into the discussion already. So let's say there are 42 new messages. So let's just wrap them up as soon as we can, and because that will be the first priority. So what I kindly put some light on B2C model. So Revankar, you saw the whole B2C model when Alan explained it. Let's get to the next question. Alan is asking, in case of warehouse and fulfillment, a consumer product company would require support from import clearance, local freight, warehousing, and fulfillment of orders. So Entry USA helps with complete service. How are these organized and timeline for doing this? Yes, what you heard and what you saw is all done by the team here. We work together and make things happen. Anything very specific, of course, we'll talk to you. And what I'll do is I'll share a small form where you will fill the details and I'll get back to you based on what your requirement is. Then both Alan and Sunil can work with you to guide you how to take it forward from warehousing perspective. Hema is asking, what is the maximum value of the consignment to be shipped directly to the consumer through courier? Any one of you can take it.
Actually, that part I will cover it for Alan too, if he allows me. Cargo insurance is actually a very important part. If you go by, we all travel, by the way. So what happens when you lose a bag? The airlines, under some law, they give you just peanuts, right? $100 or $50. So if you don't declare the value, you go into the default, which is $100, and that's about it. So I always encourage all my customers, declare your value. It's a little bit, they tax the insurance on top of it, but something goes wrong, you get the full value back. And regarding the limit of it, there is no limit. Otherwise, Louis Vuittons of the world cannot do business, actually.
Okay. But Sunilji, this question is maximum value of the consignment to be shipped. So
there is no maximum, there is no minimum.
No minimum. Got it. So, okay. Pravya is asking, what is the cost to register a company in USA? What is required? Pravya will take this question separately. Of course, I'll send a form. Everyone, we're going to focus on warehousing right now. So anything other than that, I'll share a form. If you fill it up, I will guide you further. Pravya will get back to you on that later on. For DAP contract, if the consignee is delaying the custom clearance, who is responsible for the demurrage?
No. Demurrage is always on the client because there are very, very big moving parts there. I deal with this thing on a daily basis. So typically when you are a small time shipper, freight forwarders collect the freight in advance, but that does not mean they pay shipping companies also at the same time. So voyage from India, for example, I'm going to talk East Coast, is roughly good days, 28 to 30 days, and you got 40, 45 days on the West Coast. So they actually hold your money till the ship comes here on a pre-alert, which is 5 days before. Typically, that's when freight forwarder will release the freight to the shipping company. Had been holidays in India, holidays in America, bankings are closed. I have seen so many times freight is not released. When the freight is not released, it goes over, the demurrage comes from the shipping line. Now, actually, the demurrage coming from both sides, shipping line and from the port, both. It's a responsibility of the client. No freight forwarder will take it on their head unless you are contracted to them accordingly. And there is another thing also, by the way, per diem, what we call it. And there is a window you get how many days you get free to pick up from the port, and you get how many free days to deliver the empty container back to the port. So demurrage is called when you are picking from the port, per diem is when you are returning to the port, and if you don't deliver it on a timely basis, you have a per diem charge on a daily basis. I have a client who holds the container for 24 days easy, and they pay for 20 days per diem actually.
Wow.
So diem and demurrage is actually on you.
That's a lot of demurrage.
No, it's like, Alan, I mean, like they handle 8,000 containers a year. So they got like so much work, they don't care, they are paying whatever they are paying. And it's
Right.
been,
It's
and then
wow.
there is another thing, by the way, what you need to be considered is called LFT, which is last free day, right? So New Jersey ports right now, especially there is one called PNCT. It's so busy. It's so busy. My driver went there today, this morning at 5 o'clock in the line. Right now it's 10:37. He just reported he took the entry in the port. So it took him almost like 5.5 hours in the line to get checked in, by the way. By the time he's going to be getting out, he's going to be reaching the warehouse around 2 o'clock. His whole day is gone. I mean, like, he can't go back to pick up another container either. So port, and if 2 days ago, I think, day before, they lost the power. The police came on there and removed all the line. And now what do you do if you have a last free day? You go into demurrage. It's the point which is not sometime in the control of the trucking company too. So those kind of things, but end result, conclusion, demurrage per diem is all on the client.
Wonderful. Okay, going to the next one. PT is asking, who will facilitate orders from B2C clients?
Alan,
Alan?
that's you.
No, Alan can't hear you. It's
Now,
yes.
now I'm good. Okay, can you repeat that question one more time? I just heard Sunil say, Alan, that's for you.
Yeah, it says who will facilitate orders from B2C clients?
Oh, yes. Okay, very good. So we have there's a lot of programming, API programming behind the scenes I really didn't discuss. I showed you some of the impressive features that we do over the hood, right? I showed you what we do from the outside. What I didn't show you, which I can't really show you, is some of the powerful software tools that we have from the inside. Okay, so let's just say you sell on the Amazon marketplace or on Walmart, or like I said, there's 1,000 marketplaces. But let's say you sell on 3 or 4 marketplaces. We would help you consolidate those orders into one central location. Whether it be 2 sources of orders, 5 sources of orders, 10 sources of orders, we consolidate them to one place. We pull the orders in automatically for you via these companies' APIs. So we'll pull in the orders from Walmart, from Amazon, from eBay, from wherever you might have sold it. We'll pull in the orders for you, Shopify, and then we will ship the orders, and then we will confirm those shipments back onto those marketplaces for you. So really, from your perspective, all you have to focus on is really the marketing and production side of the product. Now, just to touch on marketing for a moment, I saw in the chat that Jitesh earlier sent a question about that he exports fashion jewelry. How do you market in the USA, and are there any services for marketing? So we actually do marketing for our clients in the B2C realm. So if someone's selling on Amazon, for instance, and wants to supercharge at selling, okay, we do offer marketing services. I didn't really discuss it because it wasn't part of the discussion originally, but we do offer marketing services for clients that may need that, but specifically only in the B2C e-commerce marketplaces. So we won't market for you to, to stores or to whatnot, but if you're looking for marketing on Amazon and how to improve your rank and function on Amazon, we can definitely help you there.
Beautiful, Alan. That's wonderful. Now, next question. Rivankar is asking, shipping to USA for DG cargo. Most of the freight forwarders don't accept DG cargo for B2C orders. My products been power banks containing lithium-ion batteries.
So you have hazmat product. So hazmat in the US is a difficult situation. Things that might be considered hazmats are strong aerosols, lithium batteries, perfumes. Those would be what we call hazmat type products. And so there may be certain forwarders that are not willing to, ship that product to the facilities because of its hazmat nature. We can definitely help you with that process. That's something more I would talk with you maybe offline about, as far as dealing with hazmat. But we do hazmat fulfillment within the warehouse, so we are capable of fulfilling hazmat products.
Wonderful. Okay, Mr. Unnikrishnan sir has shared everyone. There was a question earlier regarding the HSN code and country-wise. So Mr. Unnikrishnan has shared the IndianTradePortal.in link to find the HSN code for the country that you want to deal in. Of course, for USA, you'll find it there. Karthik Sagar is asking how to handle delays in shipments. Who is responsible for delays in transshipment? Sunilji?
So that question, I'm not sure if it might be for Sunil, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, delay in shipment is the weather, it's the water, it's like so many factors actually comes in play. Delay in shipment on the ocean side is typically 3 to 4 days, sometimes 2 days they come early. It's like flight. You are sitting in a flight, you get the wind in the back and you catch up 1 hour and you get the headwind, you are delayed by an hour. So water works the same way. If they get some storm, there is some water movement there, they slow down the ship. But it all depends on that. But there is no such thing as called somebody to be blamed and paid for it, unless you work out a contract with the shipping company guaranteed, and then you pay a hefty amount, then plan your shipment. That's the only answer. Nobody's to be blamed for nature.
I agree with
Wonderful.
Sunil. A lot of times I say self-insure your shipments because the cost that you'll pay for further insurance almost 95% of the time outweigh the benefits of it.
Lovely. Yes, it would.
Now, Preeti did ask one question on the message chat. I just wanted to address it. It says, so can we link, I believe, orders to our own website, meaning B2C orders? Yes. If you sell on Shopify, you sell on Magento, you sell WordPress. If you're selling on any of the major shopping carts that are out there, we can definitely help you consolidate those orders through your shopping carts, get them into our system automatically, by the way. So we call this automatic fulfillment. It's not semi-automatic and it's not manual fulfillment. Everything here is automatic. So we pull the orders directly from your website. We pull it into our system. We ship the orders. We confirm those shipments back to your website. So your customer has a seamless experience.
Lovely, Alan. That's wonderful. Preeti and everyone, I will share a form with Unnikrishnan sir's permission in the end. And once you fill it up, we will have the details and then we'll work on those details and then get your process started with Alan and Sunil. So you will be covered. So not to worry, I will be in touch with you after this webinar. Okay, TM is asking, how are perishable products fulfilled through your warehouse? For example, if I have to ship fresh mangoes to IAH on a certain date, how will warehouse help in the fulfillment process?
Okay, Alan, I'm going to help you out a little bit here. Before first part, I'll do it. Second part, you do it.
Sure.
Question from whoever asked about mango. My question is back to them. Are you going to wax them or not?
So TM, are you going to wax them or not? Okay.
He says, okay. So because for everybody's knowledge, the wax basically slows down the process of ripening in any fruit. So typically when you buy cucumbers, even from Costco, you will see there is a wax coming out of there. It basically slows down the process. So that gives some time period for shipping mangoes to the end consumer. But I'll just say one more line, then Alan can address it. By the time it's shipped from India by air, comes to your facility, you only got like 48 hours top line to deliver to the consumer. Alan, now you can take it from here.
So Sunil, so one of the things he just mentioned, I when he said I'll help you, I said with pleasure because because mangoes is not my specialty. I'll eat them from day to night, but highly perishable product is not something that we do fulfillment of within the facility. We do fulfillment on some, food products, but they're generally products that are not perishable. They may be dry product, they may be, non-dry products, but they're generally not, going to be perishable. Like you may have seen when I was walking through the warehouse floor that we were fulfilling orders for tomato sauce. So we have clients that sell, I'll call it luxury tomato sauce, high-end tomato sauce. And so we'll do fulfillment for that, but that's product that, has a 6 month shelf life.
Okay. So let's go to the next question. Karthik is asking, is there a minimum tenure to rent a shared warehouse or can we rent it on need basis?
Everything is need basis.
Right. So yeah, to what Sunil said, everything is a need basis. That's the beautiful part of fulfillment by, let's say, Sunil or myself, is that you don't need to maintain a 10, 20, 50,000 square foot warehouse. You may have 1 or 2,000 square feet within one of our facilities, and you're only paying for the space that you're using. So that's the beautiful part of fulfillment by a third party. We have many different clients underneath our roof. And so one client may be busy, the other one may not be so busy. So one client may be using 1,000 square feet today. 3 months later, all of a sudden he's using 10,000 square feet. But then another 2 months later, he's using 2,000 square feet again. And so that's the beautiful part of having public warehouse fulfillment for your products.
So let me elaborate a little bit and make it easy for rest of the people. Sunilji and Alan, my question is, this is coming from my experience with working with these companies from India, but I want to make it easy from your perspective. Let's say I sent a container full, and I don't know, assume I have 10 pallets there on the warehouse, and next month, 1 pallet is gone because it is sold in the market. I'm left with 9. The next month, 5 are sold, and now I'm left with 4. My question is, now from the pricing perspective, the cost of warehouse, that is, technically, if I use the word renting, I don't want to use it, but people are using it, so I want to just touch the nudge it with little point. How will pricing change with respect to monthly cost of hosting my earlier 10 pallets in the first month, then 4 pallets in the third month? Sunilji and Alan, how will you address that?
See, I will address it from what we do in B2B, and then Alan can take it for the C part of it. So let's say there are 2 scenarios here. If the customer has 1 SKU or he has multiple SKUs, okay? So 1 SKU is handled completely different. The inventory of pallet got depleted. Now he's not paying for 5 pallets, he's paying for 4 pallets. But in case of multiple SKUs, it's not the case. Because in multiple SKUs, most of the companies, when they sell, they don't sell 1 SKU. They will tell us to make a pallet pick few boxes here and a few boxes there and a few boxes here, and then make one pallet and let it go. But in that case, the pallet is not depleted because it started with 70 cartons. Now it may be at 50, but pallet in the back is still taking the space. But once the complete pallet is gone, the inventory is depleted, then only the reduction on the rent, what you call it, or we call it charges, storage charges, comes down. But till the time pallet is there and a carton is there, he's still paying for it. I hope this
Okay.
answers.
Yes,
Also-
yes, yes. Let me put it another way, Sunilji, just to make it even more easier for the listeners. And it's very, very important for everyone to listen out to. Let's say I had two SKUs, two pallets, they both were full. And in the end, one pallet is half full, but in the second pallet, I'm only left with one small product. Now, there are two pallets counted or one, because there's only one left.
It's a very extreme condition you put it. Typically, we will take that carton and put it on the other one, and some kind of color code we will put it so it's not wrongly sent to anywhere.
Right.
But typically that never happens, because if it happens, then it's a poor planning. Because if I'm selling my product and I know the inventory is depleting and I'm down to my last carton, I need to refill that anyway. So when the second shipment comes, so this box goes to that particular SKU on that particular pallet, to answer your question, then it will not be charged for a one single carton.
Lovely. Alan?
Yeah, so Sunil said it correctly. What we would do in such a scenario, and he said it is, let's call it an odd circumstance, because if you had 50 cartons on a pallet, usually you're not going to be left with one carton. You'd probably have sold, all of it at some point in time. But when we have any pallets by us that are under 20% in cube volume, so if the pallet was originally a 5-foot pallet and now it's a 1-foot pallet, we'll generally consolidate it and match it up with a pre-existing pallet from the same customer within the warehouse. So to what Sunil said, we'll do the same exact thing. We would consolidate it and put it onto one pallet. And to
Wonderful.
what you asked about earlier, a client has 10 pallets and slowly they pulled 2 pallets and then you pulled 4 pallets. Yes, their storage costs will go down during that process, assuming that they're depleting those pallets. One thing that Sunil said at the beginning of the presentation is, don't send products if you think it's going to take over a year for that product to fulfill out the door. Don't send the product and say, oh, they'll ship it within the course of a year and change. In the US, space is a premium. Space costs money, and the cost of storage will destroy a company. We don't make money off storage. Storage is really just it's a component of the business. I'm sure Sunil will say the same to you. We're not looking to store your products to collect revenue from a client to store products. We want your products to move. We don't want it to sit here, because if it sits, you're not making money. If you're not making money, we're not happy. It's always a partnership between the fulfillment provider, which would be us, and our client. It's a partnership. We want you to be profitable. We want you to make money. So both Sunil and myself will give you advice along the way as to what to do differently or how to improve your supply chain. Just to touch to someone just asked a few minutes ago, I think it was Kunal asked about how do you handle eBay orders from the warehouse. So as far as eBay orders are concerned, they're no different to us than Amazon orders, than Walmart orders, than your website orders that you might get on your Shopify or Magento website. They're no different. eBay orders, we would bring them in through the API automatically. We would bring the orders in without you requiring to do any work, really. We bring in the orders, we ship the orders, and we confirm those orders, those shipments back out to eBay. So really, during the process where we set you up, we would do all that part of the process and make sure to consolidate all of your orders, not just eBay, Shopify, Amazon, and various other marketplaces, consolidate them into one meeting point, fill in all the orders, and confirm the shipments back out to those marketplaces.
Lovely, Alan. Thank you very much. Yes,
Sure.
just the previous answer that was provided by Alan and Sunil. Remember one thing, keeping your product, storing it, we don't make money. That makes us unhappy. Absolutely. The goal is that get a product that moves. More it moves, more money we make, more money. I mean, technically you are making more money and technically we are making more money. It's not a storage. You're not keeping it and forgetting it. These products have to move. This is how warehousing work in the US. It's not a storage. It is a place where you do business. The things have to, the product have to move. All right, next question. Fine Tangent website. Ayush, Unikrishnan sir has already shared it. So you can look at that website, tradeportalindia.in, and then from there you'll get the HSN code. I'm Srinivasan from Chennai. I'm scheduled to travel to USA, plan to establish a domestic distribution center there, and like to meet Mr. Sunil or his team in New Jersey. I intend to ship Mr. Basmati rice and garments. Could you please advise where I can find the exact duty structure? So, sir, this is the question. For Basmati rice and garments, Mr. Srinivasan will be visiting New Jersey. Welcome, sir. And they want to know, could you please provide where I can find the exact duty structure? Additionally, could you recommend a reliable customs broker in New Jersey or New York?
I mean, this is something I do for a living, actually. Basmati rice, my actually experience goes back to, I used to work for British American Tobacco, ITC, what they call it in India. Used to procure rice actually for United Nations and Conagra and Kargil too. So, Navinji, if you can share them my contact, and garment actually, by the way, this day garment I actually handle for a lot of big brands over here. We actually manage their complete supply chain to their DC. Actually, I was just getting the messages. I was about to say I gotta go because air shipment has just landed. Got a delivery tomorrow to screen it. So garment, if you do it, if you want to do it, I don't know how you're gonna sell it, but if you do it with the big brands, just make sure that you have everything aligned what you promise. Getting an order is the easiest part. They actually charge you for late delivery. 1% of the invoice value on a day if it's not delivered on promise day. Then they charge you if the label, Alan was very good actually. What Alan was showing you, the label, he actually said that USPS, FedEx, and your UPS, they won't have different style of labeling for them. So labeling is why labeling is more important because it gets scanned. The older the company, their conveyors are not smart because they are not investing on a new technology. They're still using the old one. The most difficult label to put is the Walmart. Walmart is a science way to put the label. 1 inch from the top, 1 inch from here, 1 inch from there. So I actually cut out for my staff, just go inside and put the label and go to the next box. By the time you do 50, now you got a hands-on, then you put the labels. Because they're putting on the conveyor these cartons and on the top, like Easy Pass, like you have an Easy Pass collecting money from the top, and that's when it gets scanned. Anything which is not scanned goes to manual. And when they see your label was off, now you get a chargeback. So why did you not put the label we told you to? So if you have POs, one pallet, that's my job, by the way, but I'm explaining, you can have multiple POs in one pallet, but you got to tell them the bottom layer is this PO, top layer is this, the topest layer is this. So these are the nitty-gritties when you deal in the garment, basically. And coming to the rice part of it, make sure for fumigation, the chemicals you are using are aligned with America. If not, the whole shipment will go back, by the way. We had actually a whole session, Navinji organized with the Port Authority, and all those customs guys were in the seminar too, by the way. They repeatedly said this one thing, please understand the law of the land, the chemicals you can use and chemicals you cannot use. And I completely understand for rice, you have to use the chemical. You have to fumigate the rice. So it's very critical. So these are my 2 cents. And Naveen can share my phone number and email address. Most welcome to come here. Custom broker can do its part of its own. Sometime when the container of rice and food goes into the examination, then it's in nobody's hand. In America, we don't pick up the phone and call the custom officer, hey, buddy, why is my container not released yet? Not happens. When they release, you just sit quiet, but you present your case. Okay. So I mean, like, I can go on and go on. I mean, like, I have experiences of one particular company in the household, the bedding, it took 3 years for 13 containers to be released by custom, finally. So
Wow.
I'm like, be careful what you send, what you declare. And right now, American custom is actually on an alert. Rice is one SKU, that's okay. If anybody's here on the food side of it, lot of people, what they are doing, then they are stuffing the container. Now they are not declaring what's inside. Okay. I understand the container which comes from Africa, because one duty they pay for export, load as much as possible, load as much as commodity you want to. But right now there are some ban items are coming here, and custom is very alert. They are all going into inspections, and it's not a happy situation. So my humble request to all of you, rather do a good business than one short of that which gets stuck. All the money you made in 1 year is gone. Those penalties and duties and everything is very heavy. So declare in the food what you have. Do not be shy. At the most, what will happen is few commodities will not come here, but you will not be deprived of another 30 commodities you want to do. So that's my take on that. So you happily come. We will meet you. I'll show you what needs to be done. I do handle a lot of rice and garment, by the way.
Lovely. Srinivasan, sir, I have sent a form to you. Please fill it up and you're welcome. I mean, our office is right here, and of course, we'll visit the warehouse and do all the necessities. But it now it is becoming very crystal clear that how important it is to have an expert with you to guide you through all these nuances. Next question, Mr. Uni Krishna Kurup is asking, can you help us in getting FDA clearance?
FDA, you don't need a clearance, okay? FDA is a registration. So FDA does not declare anything. FDA has multiple parts, by the way. If you are in a manufacturing of a device, you have in a pharmaceutical, that's a whole different thing, by the way, for FDA. When it comes to food, you are taking a registration. What it means is that FDA knows that you are an entity who will be selling this product in America. They do inspect, they do come and inspect sometime if they want to, but the most important one is USDA. You need to be talking to USDA. So USDA and FDA actually works when the container comes. You need a custom clearance and you need a clearance from them before you can sell it. And there you have to declare who you are. Like, for example, I'm sure meat is not allowed from India to come here, so I won't touch that. You'll be surprised to know the meat product, all countries in the world cannot send to America. You'll be surprised even big names of the European countries are not allowed to sell here the meat product. So check your fact, check your law, talk to the broker. He will guide you better what is allowed and what is not allowed. And that's when now my point of HSN code become very important, because you are going 2 layers down to explain that my product is not in the broad category, but underneath that. So whoever is here in the food side of it, get sensitive, because FDA, USDA is more than FDA, USDA is very sensitive. They want to make sure what we eat, we live here is all good and not some chemical we are putting in our body which gonna hurt us later. So they are protecting the citizens basically.
Thank you. And everybody, just to share with you, with the Trade Promotion Council of India, Unikrishnan sir connected with us. They want to do a program with Port Authority, US FDA, USDA, Sunil sir, and also Customs, US Customs and Custom Broker. I am doing that webinar on the 17th of September. If anybody interested in the form, I mean, I'll share the form and you can let me know. And you are more than welcome to participate. Let's get to the next question. We are 1.5 hours, so let's try to take maybe few more, Alan, and then we'll call it off a day. My
Sure.
form is there. Please fill it up because we're going to get short on time. Then we'll take it forward offline. There is a question by Bala Chandran asking, in US, do any standard set for packaging, like the packing material, like restricted usage of plastics, etc.?
I mean, unless you're using something that's very odd, there really is not much restrictions on, what you use for packaging materials, whether it be paper-based or plastic-based. We have different clients that have different needs. So when I was showing you how we were packaging, products in their outer box, as far as related to the box that it was shipping in or the dunnage that was placed around the product, there really is no restriction. There's nothing in there that is hazardous, right? So some of our clients may be very environmentally conscious, and so they may say, no, we don't want any plastic in our box. To which I didn't show you. I wish I had a box in front of me. A few of our clients are very conscious to the environment. So the box that we use is all made out of recycled material. The dunnage, which is the what we use to keep the product in place, is paper-based, not plastic-based. When we tape their packages, their products have to be taped with paper taped, glue-based, adhesive-based paper tape. So, we really work to what our client requires.
Lovely. Okay. Next question is Preeti Bedi. We have 100% herbal incense being sold in Las Vegas now. We need a distributor in New Jersey. Kindly reach us out. All right, Preeti, we'll talk about it in the next. Fill up the form and then we'll talk offline. TM is asking. So, okay, Alan, this is important. This is not. This you will really enjoy this one. Can you share the software used for this warehouse? So this is
it's a wish. If you want to, you can, Alan. Here is an opportunity.
It's an opportunity, Alan. Which means you have buyers in India now. Right? I love this. I love this question. Okay. Hema Agencies, American English is difficult to understand. Can you again communicate in Indian English? Hema, we'll talk about in Indian English later on offline. I've shared the form below. Please look at my name, Naveen, Navin, Naveen Pathak, and you will see the form. Please fill it up and then we'll guide you further as we need it. Webinars is our way of bringing awareness, but that's not our business. Our business is doing the job, the real job. All business expansion side of it. So, but we are doing it only for purpose of bringing awareness. Okay. So Siva Kumar is saying that a lovely warehouse, Alan. And
thank you.
Okay, Prenax is asking what are the processing visa costs for expense? I need to start a logistics freight forwarding company. Okay, that's a very different. Prenax, fill the form again. Then we'll talk about setting up your company. Okay. I think, Mr. Unikrishnan, we are 1 hour, 40 minutes into the game. I think, there are many questions still there are. And I think if we go over them, it's going to take us next 30 minutes. I request, if it is okay for everyone, you are more than welcome to talk to us. No doubt about it. Fill up the form once again. And then we'll talk offline. And then anyone needed, Alan or Sunil, you will be connected with them. And then we'll work on your project. No one is going to be left untouched. Every stone will be turned. Every question will be answered so that you can get started. Very simple model we follow. More money you make, more money we make. It's not that we win twice. Win-win does not mean that Alan, me, or Sunil win twice. Win-win means you win, we win. And our winning stands on your winning. This is how I want to put it. For somebody asked me about, we talked about FDA and custom clearance and a USDA and Port Authority, right? And custom broker. So I'm sending a link here. If you want to attend, you are more than welcome to. We are doing it with the Indian Consulate, Unikrishnan sir, and Trade Promotion Council of India connected us for this. So we have a very good speaker, and even Jim Dory, the ShopRite CEO, is joining us. That's a $20 billion conglomerate, Unikrishnan sir. And a lot of learning will happen in that webinar. A lot of insight into US customs and whatever Sunilji said regarding USDA will be there, will be discussed there. So participate if you want to, you're more than welcome to. Once again, doing business, you see, we are talking about it. We are giving as much information as possible. But one thing is very clear. You cannot learn to drive in a parked car. We can show you where the steering wheel is. We can show you where the accelerator is, where the brake is. But finally, you have to ride it. You have to drive it. No license needed, but awareness is needed. This is what Sunilji and Alan has shared with you. I promise everyone, you will never hear me saying this, or you would have never heard me saying this. But I tell you, Sunil sir, Alan, and Unikrishnan sir, I have done over maybe around 200 webinars in last 3-4 years. This is the best one so far, with so much of insight coming from both Sunil sir and Alan. This is lovely, and lot of insight into it. You follow the guidelines shared. I promise you won't make a mistake, and get started. Of course, when 83 or 84, 85 rupees converts into dollar, it hurts, because that's a lot of exchange rate from India to US. But you have to do business. Without feeding a cow, it will not give milk. Very simple. So you have to, of course, you want to save on cost. This is America. There are companies, I tell you, well, I don't want to scare you. The whole part is plan yourself, be ready, look forward, not only then what will happen in the next 3 months, what will happen in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. That's how I look into business. Goal is to make money, but your strategy will play a wider role, more solid role, as Sunilji said. Plan out. You can be short of 30 SKUs, but whatever you will bring, that will do the job right, and you will not be penalized for any mistakes that happen, as long as those mistakes are marketing oriented or different ones. But more planning you do, but bring into action. We are there to help you out. Once again, if you want, all of you, I can share the form here, and then you can get with the telephone number of my contact, of my team member, Shika. And from there, you can take it forward very easily. We'll support you end to end. There it is. You will see it's in the end. Please fill it up, and we'll support you. Warehousing, of course, with order fulfillment, as I normally say, with respect to whenever there are Indians associated for warehousing in the US. Company setup, L1A, funding, venture funding. If any one of your startup, you're looking, you have innovative products, we do venture funding. Warehousing, you have the 2 best contacts. Send me your questions, whosoever I've missed, you will get the answers. Please fill up the form, and we'll get started. I bring this to an end now. Alan, thank you so much for all the show, for all the presentations you made, for showing your warehouse and all the processes. This is the best, warehousing technology I have seen, guys. And I'm here for 30 years. 17 years I'm doing entry India, entry USA. So, Sunil sir, you are like an Amitabh Bachchan. I'm not kidding you. You know so much inside out. I love that part. And each and every one of you are in great hands. So no worries there. You ask a question and it will be addressed. Once again, more money you make, more money we make. First you make, then we make. All right. All right, Unikrishnan sir, you can do the closing part, and then
Thank you very much, Mr. Navinji, and it was very wonderful program. And as usual, you are given a lot of insights on the market, and at each program, we are gaining a lot of knowledge on that. And I should also specifically mention Mr. Sunil Ji and Mr. Allen for their wonderful presentation and wonderful talk, and so many information, in the short span of time you have shared, not only just warehousing, you have to talk about the marketing strategies for, to be adapted for Indian entrepreneurs. So with this, thank all of the participants for actively participating in this, and thank you all once again for your participation, and we look forward for more interaction. And as requested by Naveen ji, please fill it and you team, so that any information and if you want to take it forward, you will be the right person to contact in US for your markets entry strategy. Over to you, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. And if anybody has, last time we did a small webinar on company setup. If anyone, I know that there are people asking some questions. Even in the case you want to do that, I am doing another webinar as we did with you last time. And if you want to, you can register. You are more than welcome to, and we'll take you to the whole process similar to what we have here for warehousing. We'll do for company setup. I've shared it. Please let us know, and we'll move forward. All prepared, all set. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care.
You.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Unikrishna sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Great. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.